From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, hon.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
So you look at how I'm dressed, and of course today's Halloween, so this is the day that people get dressed up. Sometimes they get dressed in scary costumes or they're a character of sorts. So you might look at me and go, he's dressed up as a weatherman, maybe just a casual day with a sweater. But if you kind of think about it a little bit more closely, think of a character back in the 70s that was a very popular kids entertainment, educational, on PBS. Any guesses? If you didn't watch this morning, Mr. Rogers, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Neighborhood Forecast. It kind of tied in, right, with those neighborhood forecasts that they do. You know, and it's Halloween, and it's not so scary out there today. I mean, look at the coast. Absolutely gorgeous. Sunny skies. All right, now we take you out to Trinidad. This is just north of Trinidad, out in El Country. Sunny skies there, out along the coast. And of course, we actually have some clouds out in the valley, but these clouds should pass, and I do expect more sunshine later this afternoon and clearing skies here as we go into tonight. But it's going to be absolutely spectacular. I want to say spectacular, but you got to try to get clever on Halloween, right? It's going to be a spooktacular trick-or-treat weather tonight. Cooler and wetter weather making its way by Thursday, and possible wet weather will continue into early next week. You know, once we start to see this wet weather pattern kick in, it's going to stay wet for a while. I mean, not a ton of rainfall for most of us, but just kind of keeping it fairly unsettled and cool out there. But there you can see your trick-or-treat forecast for tonight. Now, if you're going out early, say before sunrise, I think the kiddos will be fine, especially in the valley with temperatures mainly in the low to even some mid-70s. But once that sun sets, you're dropping down to the 50s at that point. Now, of course, it is going to be cooler in the mountains, but even Siskiyou not that bad at 4 p.m., about 61 degrees 6 p.m., and then low 50s by 8 p.m. And then the eastern mountains, obviously much cooler there. By 8 p.m., it's already down to about 42 degrees. So definitely want to make sure that the kids have something warm to wear if it is going to be dark outside. There you can see the north coast, low 50s, nothing unusual there. Temperatures by 8 p.m. inland in the low 60s, and by 8 o'clock tonight in Trinity County, right around 60 degrees. So not too bad. At least it's not going to be wet out there, just cool, especially in the higher elevations. So there you can see the clouds that moved in this morning. Those will pass. You can see some clearing coming in behind that. That's what we have in store for us. You can in fact see that as we go into this evening. Those clouds push off to the east, and we got mainly sunny skies in the forecast. Now, we go into Wednesday, still just a couple of passing high clouds, but it's not until Thursday that we will see that chance for rain move in. Now, what you'll notice, we're seeing that line kind of pushing into Northern California, and in particular, Del Norte County, Northern Humboldt County, and Western Siskiyou County. This right here is a typical setup where most of the rain is to the north and west. As we go into Thursday afternoon and evening, we may see some of those showers make their way into parts of Modoc County and maybe the north end of the valley. But I've got you dry south of that for Thursday, not to mention in the eastern mountains. I want to show the overall trend, because as we go into Thursday, and not to mention Friday, Saturday, what we're going to see is a series of storms kind of push on through. Here you can see Saturday, a little bit of a weak atmospheric river pushing through, and that's going to be a source of moisture for us. Then we go into your Sunday. You see how another disturbance pushes through? That'll be the case on Monday, and possibly even into Tuesday of next week. Bottom line, we've got a series of storm systems out over the Pacific Ocean, and they're all heading our way. It's just some are going to be stronger than others and have more rain associated with them. In fact, we take a look at the forecast rainfall totals, we're taking you way out. So I don't want you to look at these numbers and go, oh, we're going to see exactly 1/2 inch in Redding. No, that's not the case. We're going to see exactly 4.3 inches in Crescent City. No, please don't look at that. And sometimes I hesitate to put the numbers, but I want to put them up there to give you kind of a general idea. Bulk of the rain right up here to the north and west. You see how we start to head to the south and east, you start seeing less and less. However, one little addition to that. Sometimes what happens is that it weakens, it hits the valley, but then it kind of upslopes on those foothills and in those mountains east of the valley. So sometimes you see just kind of an area where we do see more rain out of it. But Susanville, you can see not quite as much. But again, bottom line, heaviest here, you don't see as much as you head down to the south and to the east. All right, here are your wave heights. We're not going to see much change here as we go into the next 24 hours. If anything, they may increase a little bit here, but shouldn't be too much of a concern. Looking at your marine forecast, you can see, of course, those waves from the west at 2 feet at 11 seconds, and no alerts are in the forecast. All right, so let's take a look at your forecast for the rest of the afternoon. I'm expecting temperatures in the mid, maybe some upper 70s this afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s, 50s and 60s for the higher elevations, although in Trinity County, low to mid 70s. Mid-70s here for the inland areas as well. And now towards Siskiyou County, generally in the 60s, about 68 degrees for Mount Shasta City. All right, there's a look at your 7-day outlook for the Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville, basically Siskiyou, Modoc, and the eastern mountains. And you can see I've got a chance for rain Thursday there, but no rain for Susanville, probably until we get into maybe as early as Friday, but probably closer to the weekend into early next week. There's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. So Redding, there are the showers. There are the showers for Red Bluff, but I don't have anything for you and Chico on Thursday. Maybe Friday, but better chances going into the weekend. And again, not to mention early next week. Here's your 7-day outlook for the coast. And of course, by the way, Saturday night into Sunday, you need to set those clocks back 1 hour. Of course, we need to fall back, right? So you set those clocks back an hour. But we've got that wet weather in the forecast. Heaviest will be on the coast over the next 7 days. And then as you start heading inland and Weaverville, not as much, but still a decent amount of rain.